my brain's not braining. I found out I have ADHD. It explains so much. It's kind of annoying how much it explains, but sometimes it's really hard for me to find like specific words, and I feel like I rant and ramble and don't finish thoughts and pivot to a new thought. It's been one of the corners of my life that has been the most challenging, I think, and I don't know that I'll get medicated necessarily, but I'm in the process of figuring out what it all means for me as a 38-year-old almost with ADHD. Because I already have OCD, which I understand and can grasp. But now with ADHD, it's a totally different ballgame. And it's crazy how I feel like I've for the last 3 years, every time I sit down to film a video, sometimes my brain just doesn't brain. And I used to think it was because I ran out of ideas. I mean, certainly reacting to music is very easier because you just kind of like, oh, this thing came out, let me react to it, right? But like when I sit down, and even now during this video, I've been sort of percolating on video ideas that I think might be interesting videos for me to make, that I will enjoy making. And it's interesting how easily I can lose my train of thought. I mean, I think the best part about it is that and I think this is why I'm a variety content creator and why I've always just played every possible game known to man, because I can almost never sit still with one game. I think that's actually a really interesting thing that I'm kind of discovering about myself, because I used to just be like, oh, I just really like exploring games. But the truth is that in general, I have a really hard time paying attention to a game for an extended period of time. And so ADHD, I think, explains a lot, because I jump from game to game. Like every day I'll sit down, I'm like, okay, what am I playing today? And I'll just like go down this list. Like I remember seeing like I think it was Moist Critic or some content creator, they showed up their Steam page and they had one game. And I was like, one game installed? The hell? You look at mine, I have like 35 games, because I never know what mood I'm going to be in and what I want to play. And then I'll play one for like 5 minutes, and then I'll pivot to something else. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to play Guild Wars 2 for 10 minutes. It's a miracle that I have 200. And I think the reason why I like MMOs is because there's always something new to pivot to or do. It's another reason why I think that Rainbow Six Siege is one of my favorite games of all time, because like, even though the matches themselves are the same, there's always something to pivot. Like there's a new match every time. There's a new experience, new players. So even though this functionally is the same game, that's why I struggle with focusing in on stuff. Or I noticed recently, so the finals, in order to have an account, you need to sign in and create a whole thing. The minute that there is like some sort of a barrier to entry is the minute that I kind of bow out. And so when I started content creation 3 years ago, one of the things I just lost my train of thought. Isn't that funny? ADHD, man, it's crazy. Like, and a part of me is like, well, I wonder what it would be like to be able to siphon my focus, and why am I so tired? Is it because of ADHD? Is it because my attention is like split like this? Because how the hell was I memorizing 3-hour operas? Like how was I able to memorize all that stuff? Or do I have onset ADHD as an adult that came on later on in my life? I find ADHD to be a really interesting thing as a person who loves games, because it does give me the flexibility of trying a million different things, but it's why I can never hyper focus on one thing. Almost never. And I almost always burn out of something. I suppose that's a normal behavior. Yeah, I think that's why I really like MMOs. And I think that's also why I've enjoyed fighting games, although I have anger issues apparently. But like if a single player game is more than 30 hours, I cannot commit to it. The length of time required for the investment is way too high for me, and I become extremely non-committal. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe I'm just non-committal, which is not possible because I have relationships and stuff. I have a relationship that's really healthy, and we're getting married. So I mean, clearly that's fine, but I find it really, really interesting. And why was a 33-hour playthrough of Hollow Knight so easy for me? And why don't I want to go back and try some of the harder stuff? Well, probably because I'm also one of these types of people that once something is done for me, it's done. I rarely go back. Even The Witcher 3, which is like a game I've played 450 hours of, right? Gwent. I think the reason why I played so much of it is the variability, which I think keeps me interested and keeps me engaged. So it's really interesting being an adult gamer, content creator with ADHD, newly discovered ADHD, and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out like, what are my likes, what are my dislikes, why don't I like things, why do I like things, are any of these related to the fact that I have this thing that I'm still trying to come to terms with and figure out what it is, you know what I mean? Because like 91% and 32 hours of Hollow Knight was awesome. Like I was really, really happy with that. Like that was such a solid, and also like I would never go and do the harder stuff because I just don't have the attention span. Not because I'm disinterested, but because I just don't have the attention span. Same goes for like Final Fantasy 14, where it took me 4 years to catch up to current content. And I think it's because of how much text there is. I think that was part of it too. Like for instance, there's some visual novel games. Like I play not all the time, but I play quite a bit of gacha games. Right now I'm in a no gacha game besides Destiny Rising, which I'm shockingly loving. But like PGR, Punishing Gray Raven, Arknights, terrific games without the gacha element, right? The visual novel stuff is interesting. The problem is I can't lock in. I just cannot lock into the reading aspect. I'd rather just pick up a book and read a book. Even then, even books, like my interest just wanes. And it's a very interesting thing to live in, you know, the year of our Lord 2025 and try to find the balance between, well, is it just because we live in a shortened attention span world with shorts and TikToks and this and that, and you know, these 60-second clips, and we're trying to, you know, grab the attention of everyone. There's always something going on. Or is it simply the fact that as of last week I discovered that I have ADHD because I did a bunch of like, you know, self-assessments and testing, and I want to do more with my therapist. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts on ADHD as a gamer at 38 years old. I don't know. I felt like sharing that because I feel like that's an interesting conversation.